What do they use this one, the studio for? Motion. Well, the second quarter, a better one for Carlton. They kicked 5 goals 1 to Essendon's 3 goals 2 and lead by 5 points at half-time. The Blues 8-4-52, the Bombers 7-5-47 in the elimination final at VFL Park. Now for a summary of a very hard second quarter, Peter Landy and Lou Richards.
Right, thank you, Graham. And at half-time here at VFL Park, the scores: Carlton 8-4-52 to Essendon 7-5-47. In that quarter, Carlton added 5 goals 1. Essendon added 3 goals 2. The goal kickers in the match to date: Danaher has 2, Vanderhaar 2. Actually, Danaher, I don't think Lou got a kick that quarter. Kink got 1, Merritt 1, and Ezard 1. For Carlton, Hunter has 2, both of those from free kicks. Ditchburn 1, Sheldon 1. Jimmy Buckley has 2, Montgomery and Glascott each have 1. So 52-47 at half-time. Carlton leading by 5 points after they trailed by 6 at quarter time.
Well, I just felt that it was Carlton's quarter that time, Pete. There was no doubt after a bit of a slow start in the first quarter. I know I did mention this a couple of times during the quarter that Fitzpatrick was antagonising a few players and giving away a couple of free kicks, but it may have served a purpose because when he started to really get a couple of Essendon players in, they seemed to lose their concentration.
Yes, they did.
And at one stage, the Carlton were 11 points in front, and I felt they could have been a bit further in front the way they were playing, because they were playing with a lot more confidence. There was no doubt that their back line looked a lot better in that quarter, tightened up. We saw Dill get on top of Danaher, kept him down. I think he got 0 number of kicks, which was a fair effort.
Well, you mentioned late in the quarter that Danaher seemed to be on the ball a long way from
Well, that's right. He was desperate to get kicks, and of course, we found that English, Harms and Southby playing a very good game also. But
Well, it's almost time to start the third quarter at the elimination final game at VFL Park, so let's now cross back out to the ground to Lou and Peter.
Right, thank you, Graham. Well, we're still awaiting the reappearance of the teams at half-time and repeating the score, 52-47 in favour of Carlton. Here come the umpires, Kevin Smith and Ian Robinson, and the Carlton cheer squad rolling out a banner again. I don't know whether this is a new one or...
Well, the other one broke before, Pete, and of course the players didn't run through it before the game. A sad blow to Carlton. In that second quarter, they lost Wayne Johnson, one of their great players over the last few years. And, of course, it doesn't look like he'll take any other part in the game because looked as though it's a badly wrenched ankle because he had the bandage with the ice bag around that, and he was on crutches, so I'd say he'd play no further part in the match, Pete. And, of course, the Bombers had their share of bad luck too because they lost Wood in the early part of the first quarter, or about halfway through the first quarter. But only 5 points the difference, and still anybody's game.
Let's check the stats to half-time. The marks in favour of Essendon, 21-41, or 24-40. The kicks, 94-106 in favour of Carlton. The free kicks, 13-22, so quite a margin there in favour of the Blues. The handballs, a margin of 10 in favour of Carlton. The hit-outs, 21-14, whereas you mentioned Lou Madden doing a very good job, and the shots at goal, 12 apiece, but Carlton leading by 5 points.
It'll be to note must come out like they did last week and kept Carlton waiting. I think they kept them waiting for about 5 or 6 minutes because the Blues are renowned for this third quarter burst over the last 7 or 8 weeks. They've beaten most sides in the third quarter, and Kevin Sheedy, through his wisdom, left his team in there for about at least 4 or 5 minutes to let all that adrenaline slow down a little bit that was probably in the Carlton players, and of course they couldn't get their run-on game going in that famous third quarter that they were, as I said before, renowned for. So it'll be it'll be a battle of tactics, I should imagine, between the two coaches. David Parker might leave his boys in a bit longer today so that they'll go out onto the ground and get straight into it rather than wait around for 5 or 6 minutes.
I think most of the players would like to get back into it as soon as possible.
Well, they all use these tactics, and if you're running around there, you run on the ground at half-time, you're full of, as I said, the adrenaline, you're raring to go, and if the other mob don't come out, it starts to wear off, and you're running behind the 8 ball. Well, Essendon are out first today.
Yes. Let's see if Brian Wood reappears with them. I'd be very surprised if he did. He limped off after he stole a hand pass from Fitzpatrick, which resulted in an Essendon goal. But I don't see Brian Wood there at the moment. So he is still in the dressing room, so that's certainly bad luck for the Bombers. But they seem to have covered his loss fairly well. As weak sunshine comes out here at VFL Park. We saw, of course, the game from the MCG earlier. And the ground seemed to be in much better condition here than at the MCG than here at VFL Park. Here come Carlton.
That banner is for Fitzpatrick, and of course he's not the most popular guy with the Essendon supporters out here today. And there's no doubt about it, he's been a great player for Carlton, a great leader, and his tactics today may be done for a reason, and I just felt that they were starting to pay off a little bit towards the end of that second quarter.
Over the last couple of years, he's become more of the Don Scott type of skipper, hasn't he?
The aggressive player, and there's nothing worse when you're out on the ground. You've got a player like Fitzpatrick and you start falling for him, Pete, and once you do that, you lose your concentration. You've just got to ignore them.
Well, he might hand a few out, but I tell you what, I've never seen him flinch. He always runs straight at the ball, and you can't help but admire a player for that anyway.
Been a great leader, and of course he's been a very important part of Carlton's wins in the premierships the last couple of years. He knows what it's all about. Fitz, he's a great thinker, and of course the Bombers have got to now try and stop this famous third quarter burst by Carlton. If they can do that, they'll have a great chance of winning this match here today. Their first elimination final they've won, I think, since the series started with 5 sides in the finals, Pete.
That was back in 1972. They have appeared in 5 and lost that many. On the other hand, they have beaten Carlton at their last 5-day appearances, and a few times in night games and practice matches as well. So it's statistically,
Mark Azani's going to the bench. Is that right? That could be. It's Howe, is it?
Yeah. And Mark Azani's in the wing there.
That's right. Well, he's played a fair game today, Mark Azani. He's not getting away as clear, but he might have a better go on this side of the ground because it's very heavy over there on that outer side.
All right, hostilities set to resume. I think hostilities might be the operative word here today. There are a lot of tired and sore players this evening. A few have been handed out, no reports made. Certainly we